Hi, I'm Sophie and I'm one of the directors of The Joyful Web, and for the second in our Fabulous Friday Facebook Live, we've got Allegra Chapman with us. She also happens to be our Friday, what did we call it? Friday Love? Feel Good Friday shout out, which we'll also be doing every Friday, where we'll be giving some love to a business or a person or a thing that we particularly get joy from. So today we're here with Allegra to discuss her experience being a marketer and being a woman and being a mum, a new-ish mum, and also Brighton Digital Women, which Allegra is one of the founders of, and their involvement in the Spring Forward Festival, which is launching on Monday as part of the International Women's Day week. So today's Facebook Live is all about how fabulous women are. So let's get cracking. So thank you for joining us, Allegra.
Thank you, and thank you for the Friday shout out, guys. That brightened up my Friday. That was lovely.
Was it feel good?
It was very feel good.
Hashtag feel good. Good. So I think it probably would help if you explain a little bit about who you are and how you came to be here today.
Sure. So yeah, I am a freelance marketing consultant. I help businesses basically connect with their audiences through content, social media. Really kind of similar ethos to you guys. I like to find a real purpose behind what people are doing, and I concentrate mainly on working with charities and healthcare brands who are doing really positive things in the world. And I also help to run Brighton Digital Women, which is a group that basically exists to help women get into the digital sector and then develop their skills within the sector to eventually work their way up and get more women into leadership positions and get more women more visible within the digital sector to then help more women feel that they can enter and, you know, the whole cycle start again.
So we were talking about that just before, about women in digital, and I guess in marketing we might feel like there's loads of women because it's quite it is quite a female dominated industry, at least in my experience, which probably isn't also my experience. So tell us a bit more about the barriers that women face in digital, because it's not just marketing, it's digital across the whole spectrum.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting thing that we do tend to see a lot of women in the creative side of marketing, and so for those of us who work in content and social and those sorts of things, we do tend to see a lot of women in the office, but actually the people at the top running the business are still massively men, and across the whole digital sector actually the balance is way more towards the male side. So although we've got a lot of women in the sector, they sort of seem to be kettled into one little section.
Social media posting.
Yeah, and writing nice stories, and what we're not seeing is women progressing and developing and being offered the opportunities to advance their careers and go right to the top. And the pay gap in our sector is huge. So even though women might be in a similar position to the men, they are still being paid considerably less than their male counterparts.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. It's not okay, guys. So yeah, that's what we really want to see, is more women taking on technical roles, more women getting feeling that they are able to get into the more technical side and not feeling that it's a boys' club and that they're excluded from that. They don't have to be doing the creative stuff. They can be if they want. Come and join us, guys. It's great. But yeah, that they can take on that more technical side, that there is a space for women in that area, and that they have the skills and the capabilities to take on more senior roles and to really advance themselves and kind of move up the ladder. And also you mentioned being a mum, and that's one thing that I know a lot of the women that we speak to as part of Brighton Digital Women feel that if they decide to have a family, that really holds them back in their career, and they're not given the opportunities to then progress and then develop. They're overlooked for promotions because they're seen as, they're not
risky business.
Yeah, they're not dedicated enough, or they're not working hard enough. Whereas actually, I can tell you work 10 times as hard if you've got a baby at home and you're coming to the office. But people feel they have to choose between having a family and having a career still, and it's 2019, guys. So we shouldn't have to choose between those two things. You can have both. So there's, we have come a long way. I think definitely when I first started, because I am old, when I first started, there were hardly any women. I worked in a lot of offices where I was the only female, and it was massively intimidating, and the boys did feel more than happy to make sexist jokes and sexual remarks and all sorts of really horrendous things all day long out in the open. And it was, you know, it was rough, and it did feel like coming into a boys' club. I think things have improved. I think we're definitely in a better space now where there are more women, and it's a little bit less acceptable to be.
I think it's a lot less acceptable. Like, it is not acceptable.
It's never been acceptable, let's be clear, but they got away with it for a really long time. And that is definitely changing.
I think I was quite lucky because the agency that I worked at before I started the Joyful Web, the hiring manager, the head of operations, was a woman. And then I worked my way up to be managing the whole marketing team, and somehow all of the roles became women, bar one lovely man. Hi Tim, if you're watching. Yeah, so I guess that's, you know, it probably maybe, dare I say, requires there to be women in higher roles to ensure that that is a consideration in the hiring strategy. Which, interestingly enough, actually, Alice and I went to a chamber lunch on Wednesday at Malmaison. It was great. Giles Palmer from Brandwatch was talking, and he was brilliant. Like, he was really honest and authentic, and I think we both came away. We got a lot from it because of how honest he was, and he talked about the kind of now infamous within the digital sector issue that Brandwatch had, where they published their pay gap and their female to male ratio stats on gov.co.uk, I think it was, and not internally, and it was this whole hoorah of people finding out quite how bad it was in the company. And he then made some big changes as a result of that, and, you know, brought more women into the board. More female decision makers mean a more fair distribution, I guess, across the whole company. And that is something that we're seeing more and more with these bigger tech and digital companies, which is really, it is great. It's great to see it. It kind of feels weird that we've even had to go through that process. So it's odd, but you know,
that's better late than never. At least we're getting there. And I think that really does go to show how important diversity is at the top levels, because, you know, I think it's impossible for anyone not to have a certain level of unconscious bias and a certain you know, kind of sort of propensity to sort of, you know, hire people who are like them. And if all you've got is men at the top, that's all they're going, you know, they are going to just keep promoting other men. And actually having women at the top and people of colour and LGBT people and all of that is really important, because you need that diversity both to encourage people to apply for promotions, because if all they see is a sea of white men at the top, then they feel that that's not for me. And also for those people to have, you know, voices in the room that go, well, actually that woman that interviewed was really awesome, we should hire her. And, you know, to actually kind of give that push, because it does, you know, like you were saying with your experience, it does take having somebody who's already there to help other people through and encourage other people to go for those roles and to develop themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know, it is a responsibility of those, you know, I'm saying women because it's pertinent to this conversation, but, you know, in whatever diverse group you're in, you know, it is important to have somebody who has that sort of confidence and that voice to represent those who maybe haven't got there yet, and help them to get there and help them along the way, and kind of be a spokesperson for those who, you know, who have the talent and have the potential but maybe don't realise it yet. Which actually leads us to your role as Brighton Digital Women in the Spring Forward Festival, which launches on Monday. It's really exciting. Brighton Digital Women are launching the festival and closing the festival.
Big responsibility.
That's amazing that you've got that. That's so great.
It's awesome, and we're really, really grateful to Reefa and the team at Spring Forward for bringing us in and getting us so heavily involved, because it's an amazing festival. It's a whole month-long series of incredible events showcasing women in digital, and there's so many awesome things happening. If you haven't had a look on the Spring Forward website, check out the programme of events, because there is so much going on across Brighton all month, and it's going to be amazing. So yeah, we're thrilled to be opening and closing. Does that make us the headline act?
I think it makes you the headline act.
I'm headlining, like it's like headlining
Glastonbury. It's exactly like headlining Glastonbury.
I mean, this is as close as I'm ever going to get, so I'm going to go with it.
But, you know, so for those who don't know, could you tell us a little bit about Spring Forward Festival? What is the point of that?
Yeah, so essentially it exists to showcase women in tech, and kind of what we were talking about, really increase the visibility of women in the tech sector and the incredible things that women are doing. And it's been going for quite a few years now, and Brighton Digital Women have been involved every year since we started, because it's such an amazing opportunity to really showcase all the awesome things that are going on in our city and really give that visibility to women. Obviously, with International Women's Day being in March, it sort of revolves around that, so there's a lot of great events that are happening specifically for International Women's Day. And yeah, it's just a really, really great opportunity to get out there, get to meet other women in digital, see what women in tech are doing. You know, if you're not a woman or you don't identify as a woman, get involved, like go and see and really engage in what's going on, because it's such a great opportunity to see all the great projects and different, you know, things that people are doing.
And I think actually that's a really important point, and it's a point I often make. It's a bit of a segue, but it is important at that point of, it's not a polarized issue. It's not a men versus women. We want more women than there are men. It's really we are all people.
Yeah.
We're in this together. We can learn from each other and support each other. So absolutely, it would be phenomenal to see a 50-50 split in the audiences of these events.
And I think that's a really important point, actually, that diversity benefits everybody.
Yeah.
It's good for everyone, and you know, it's having those diverse voices, having different opinions, having different points of view within an organisation, within a project, whatever it is that you're working on. It's good for everyone. And you know, we talk a lot about the impact of toxic masculinity on men. Is actually
it's massive.
As serious. You know, suicide is the biggest killer of men under 50 in this country. So that's a major issue. So actually, yeah, diversity is good for everybody. Feminism isn't just about women.
No, it's not.
It's a man's issue as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in a way, in my head, I often replace it with humanism. Like, it's not about women being better. It's just about everybody being equal.
Absolutely.
So that was a bit of a segue, but it is important, because I don't want anyone to watch this and just be like, oh, they hate men.
Yeah.
We don't. We love you. So the Spring Forward Festival, it launches on Monday, and the event that you are launching the festival with is a workshop around confidence. And I'm really excited because I've been asked to facilitate one of the workshops within a kind of bigger workshop.
I'm so excited about your session.
Is there 4 of us?
There are 3. So basically the idea, well, there are 4 speakers, because we're also really lucky to have Justine from Codes Enigma, who's doing a little talk to open it. And then we have, basically the idea is to have 3 strands, because one of the biggest issues that our community at Brighton Digital Women tell us about is a lack of confidence, whether that's confidence in themselves, in who they are, confidence putting themselves forward for a promotion, going for a more senior role, getting up and speaking at an event. But what's really, really holding them back is confidence. And if we are going to get more women coming into the sector, more women moving up within the levels, more visibility of women at conferences and events, and then, you know, more women at a senior level to encourage more women to come through, we need women with confidence to step up and really do that. So that's something that we really, really wanted to focus on. We've been wanting to do an event like this for a while, and we're really excited that Spring Forward have given us the opportunity to do it. So basically we're looking at 3 different elements of confidence. So the first that Sophie is going to be helping us with is confidence within yourself, and feeling really good about who you are, feeling confident. So basically everything starts from within. If you feel confident in yourself, that's what's going to enable you to do everything else.
All the self-love stuff that I'm always talking about.
And Sophie is my self-love guru, so she's going to be helping us with that, and starting off the event, kind of helping everyone to just feel really, really confident within themselves. We've then got Pippa Moyle, who is the founder of Brighton Girl, who is just an expert at building relationships, because she's built a massive international network of women. She's amazing. All over the world.
She's one of our favourite people too.
Yeah, she's awesome. So Pippa is going to be helping us with confidence in interpersonal relationships. So whether that's dealing with people in a meeting, dealing with negotiation, all of those sort of, you know, interactions with people that make us kind of go, ah. Pippa's going to help us with those. And then we have an amazing performer, Grace, who is going to help us with confidence in public speaking and getting up there on that stage. And
I actually know Grace Church. It's such a small Brighton.
Everyone knows it.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Yeah, so that's a great lineup. It should be
a really, really great event. And at the end of it, when everybody's gone through the programme of our fabulous 3 facilitators, we're going to give everyone who's there an opportunity to do a little talk of their own, just a couple of minutes getting up, talking about something they feel really passionate about. and get some feedback from the facilitators and help them to hopefully then feel really confident to come and speak at a Brighton Digital Women event or another event that's going on around the city. Go for that promotion, go for that pay rise, go for all the things that they want, and really kind of get out there and put themselves forward.
Yeah, I think it's such a great event, and I'm really excited to be part of it. And I think one of the things, when I look back over my career, I think the reason that I propelled as quickly as I did really wasn't because I was better than anybody else that was working with me. It was probably a combination of being better at blagging it and being confident, and that whole fake.
And being awesome.
I mean, obviously I'm awesome. Don't need to say that. But but everybody else around me was also awesome, and I learned so much from working in awesome teams. However, you do see people move at different paces, and some of that is what works for you. And a lot of that is also whether you feel like you are worthy of, or that you can push and put yourself out there in that way.
Yeah, confidence is a huge part of it. And similar to you, I kind of rose up the ranks quite quickly. And that was definitely down to confidence and just, knocking on the door and just kind of pushing through. Because, one of the stats that if you've been to a Brighton Digital Women event, you would have heard me trot out because I'm obsessed with it. But men will apply for a job if they have 60% of the requirements of the job description. Women will wait on average until they've got 100%.
See, I've never been that woman.
I've never been that woman. I am definitely up for it. If I've got 60%, I'm like, yeah. But, I go into the interview and I go, look, I have done this, and this. I haven't done this and this yet, but I have done these things, which makes me feel like I would definitely be able to pick that up and develop. And 9 times out of 10, the people in the room have gone, yeah, go for it. And so actually having that confidence to put yourself forward, and what's the worst that can happen? They say no. You haven't lost anything. So actually, a big part of it is just knocking on those doors and putting yourself out there. And I don't think I'm a massively confident person necessarily. I think a lot of it is fake it till you make it. I push myself. I just make myself do it. And
that is part of confidence.
I think a lot of people probably look at people like us who are in sort of senior positions and running all these different groups and things and go like, oh, they're really confident, like I could never be like them. And actually I think you probably need to know a lot of it is we're faking it. But we do just a lot of the time I got up and spoke at Brighton SEO and I was absolutely terrified.
Same, actually. It was the most terrified because it was such a big thing.
And I did not expect my room to be as big as it was. I sort of had this idea that I was going to be in one of the little small side rooms with no people, and then I walked in and I was like, oh my god, there's hundreds of people. But I think that you don't have to be worried about being afraid of those things. That's normal, that's fine. We're all scared. We just get up there and do it, and pushing yourself, I think, is part of
100%. I mean, I do public speaking all the time, and I think probably have spoken. I mean, I used to be a teacher, so if we include that, hundreds and hundreds of times standing up in front of people, and it never stops being scary. I always have to go to myself, you've got this, you can. Doesn't matter if you fuck up, you've got this. And because that's all part of it, and kind of have to put your game face on, and you wake up every morning just anyway. And I guess that's what, for me, that's what learning that it's okay if you don't always believe it, but trying anyway.
Definitely.
So okay, well, thank you so much for coming.
It's been a pleasure.
Is there anything that you want to leave our lovely viewers with? Any Friday? I'm kind of making the Friday thing, and I'm not really going very well with it. Fabulous Friday tip for them to take with them into the weekend for a glorious, confident weekend ahead.
I think that's probably my tip. I guess is just fear is fine, fear is normal, fear is natural. Embrace it. We all feel it. You're not alone, and you're not weird if you're scared of stuff. Just embrace that, and believe in yourself, because whatever it is that you're doing, you got there by being awesome at it, and you will continue to get even more awesome as your life goes on, because we're all always still learning, we're all always still developing. No one knows everything, but you're awesome, and you will grow in your awesomeness. So just believe in yourself and go out there and do it anyway.
I second that. That is the best Fabulous Friday tip I have ever heard. So thank you all for watching, and we hope you have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.